good evening, everyone. I'm Jonathan McNamara with JMU Sound Off with a web extra. We're talking high school recruiting. Been a busy week for the JMU football staff as they continue to add to the class of 2026. And one of those names is Phoenix Donghia, a running back, 5'11", 225 pounds from the state of Florida, Cardinal Newman High School. And we want to have a chance to get to know this recruit a little bit more. And somebody who covers South Florida recruiting is Proscia. And we're going to ask him to come on now and give us a little insight into the newest JMU commit. So, Christian, thanks for spending part of your Friday afternoon with us. Before we get into Phoenix, tell our listeners a little bit about you and what you do in terms of covering recruiting down there in the state of Florida.
How's it going, Jonathan? I appreciate you for having me. I'm excited to, if you guys couldn't tell by now, I'm excited to talk about one of my guys. I love Phoenix. I'm ready to talk about him. I'm Christian Proscia. I am a photojournalist. I'm based out of South Florida, Palm Beach County specifically. I'm going into my third year at Florida Atlantic. I'm a photojournalist. Like I said, I do photography, videography. I write, I report, I podcast host, all that fun stuff just to give as much exposure for the kids as possible. I run the day-to-day operations, and I am the creative team director for New Era Prep. We are a South Florida-based sports media outlet that covers local high school, college, and professional sports all around the state of Florida. Palm Beach County, Broward County, Treasure Coast, Inner Miami, you name it, New Era Prep's covering it.
Awesome. Well, Christian, before we get into Phoenix specifically, I want to ask you, JMU football obviously has been making inroads in the state of Florida over the last couple of years. This is the second commit to JMU today from the state of Florida. Corey Simon, a defensive lineman from Lauderdale Lakes, also makes his commitment to the Dukes today. What is the reputation for this program down in Florida? Is obviously they had success in the FCS level, have now made a very successful transition to FBS football. Tell us a little bit about what you know about JMU football and what's the reputation of Coach Chesney and the team down there in the state of Florida.
Well, that's the thing about JMU is they're a program that they're not up and coming. They're already here. From the second that they got to the FBS level, they're already here. They go out. Literally a couple months ago, you win the Boca Bowl in our backyard. That's huge for high school relations in our area. There were so many prospects that JMU is interested in that were at the game. They might not have been on the prospect list, but they were just in the stands. Palm Beach County, Broward County, the Treasure Coast, Miami-Dade County, they come to the Boca Bowl because they just want to watch good football during bowl season. It's right in my backyard. It's at FAU. So being able to develop those relationships, especially as one of the top group of 5 programs already, despite literally just becoming an FBS program. There is nothing but praises when it comes to James Madison. And more importantly, you guys are developing a pipeline of South Florida talent down here. You guys are recruiting our talent pool heavily. And actually a fun fact for everybody is I grew up, I played Little League football. I went to school with one of your quarterbacks, Blake Kendall, back in the day. Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a small world, always is.
I've known that dude since I was 5 years old.
That's great to know. So, well, it's always interesting because obviously JMU's had College Game Day now 3 times, and we obviously think that increases our exposure. But it's good to hear that the brand continues to grow in places that you might not expect it. Definitely outside of the Mid-Atlantic. Now to turn our attention to Phoenix. Obviously, running back that's garnered a tremendous amount of attention. Offers from a number of schools, including UNC, App State, ODU programs that are peers of JMU and App State and ODU, and then a program in UNC where the Dukes hung 70 on them last year when they went down to Chapel Hill, leading to Bill Belichick coming in now as the coach of the Tar Heels. Tell us a little bit about your knowledge of Phoenix and what kind of running back the Dukes are getting. Obviously, a very hard runner. He had over 1,500 yards, total yards last year, over 1,300 on the ground and 15 touchdowns. Give our fans a little sneak peek into Phoenix's game and what you've seen from him as a prospect.
The dude's an absolute stud. He is must-watch TV every time he steps on the field. He is a 3-down back. So like everybody thinks, oh, he's a stockier running back. He's going to be your 3rd-down power back. No, he's going 1st and 2nd down, and he gets better as the game goes on. Like he'll break off a couple nice runs in the first half, but he just pounds and wears your defense down until ultimately he makes that home run shot late in that game. Nobody wants to tackle him, but most importantly, nobody can tackle him. The best way to describe Phoenix Donghia's game is watch Cam Scadaboo highlights. And I stand by that. That is the easiest pro comp I can give on him. He's a wider based dude. He's stockier, around my height, 5'11". He's got legs the size of tree trunks, and nobody can square off on him. Like, he just bounces off of contact. He gets those extra yards, whole lot of broken tackles, yards after contact. When all those stats get measured on PFF in the next couple years for him, they're going to be off the charts. This is an incredible pickup for you guys. And like you said, App State was high on him. UNC was really high on him. I thought he was going to UNC.
Yeah.
I thought he was that people are gonna buy into the early hype train of having Belichick coming in, having the success that he had at the professional level, developing you into a possible NFL player. Me personally, there's no better person I would want to develop me into an NFL player as opposed to the greatest NFL coach of all time. So I'm very happy with the pickup for you guys. And like I said, with UNC, like, the thought of having a dude like him who's just a hard-nosed, pound-the-rock runner in a Belichick offense, like, that's a future first-round pick. So,
well, when you look at what JMU's done over the last couple of days of recruiting, it's been a pretty consistent theme. Is if whether it's Ben Whitfer, who's a wide receiver they pick up out of Powhatan, Virginia, who had an offer from Penn State. They've had multiple recruits with Power 4 offers, but Bob Chesney and company convincing them that coming to Harrisonburg and taking their talents to the Dukes is the best way to start their development in their career. This is also an area that is heavily recruited by JMU special teams coach and tight ends coach Drew Kanan. I know they've spent a tremendous amount of time in the area. Just kind of curious what your thoughts are about more prospects continuing to go the group of 5 route when they have those Power 4 offers, knowing that everything that comes with that, they're going to get an opportunity likely earlier with JMU to not only make their mark in an incredibly competitive conference like the Sun Belt, but get an opportunity to, again, get that exposure that the JMU brand has been able to deliver, again, with those college game day appearances, the bowl game appearances, and all of the ESPN contests that the Sun Belt teams are able to take advantage of them as they go throughout the year.
well, I'm a firm believer. I tell all the kids all the time, you need to go to the situation that best impacts you. I'm a firm believer that is not financial. Mm-hmm. You are a college student. You are a college athlete. End of the day, your name in the game is getting onto the field. I would rather go to a James Madison, a App State, any of these solid G5 programs, Western Kentucky, hoping FAU gets in. I know FAU is going to get into that echelon of top tier G5s the next couple of years. Going to one of those, sorry, I'm getting a million notifications on my Mac. But going to one of those programs and getting on the field, that is more valuable than going to Alabama and sitting the depth chart. And end of the day, you're portaling and you're coming back down to a level. So you might as well get that early exposure. And honestly, like you said, make a name for yourself. Be one of those top G5 guys. This dude could be the best dude to ever come out of this program, as opposed to he was a guy at Alabama. He was a guy at Georgia. And I'm a firm believer on that is make your impact. And especially with a school and a program like JMU, once again, you're new to the FBS level. There is plenty of opportunities to make your name known on a national stage, especially with JMU. And I think that he's going to be a guy who's going to go out. He's going to pound the rock. He's going to get in. He's going to get in early. He's a hardworking kid. He's one of the hardest workers I know. He's a vocal leader. He's a quiet leader when, like, in practice, but when he needs to, he talks. And he's just an energy guy. Like, he just gets stronger as the afternoon goes on, and I stand by that. He fires everybody up around him. He is an energy that is infectious. He doesn't have to say anything, but all the other 10 dudes on the field rally around him.
Well, and this is a program that over many, many years has had successful running backs who have really made a name for themselves, not only at JMU, but in across the country. The leading running back from this season, George Pettaway, coming back, who's a UNC transfer. They had a running back who kind of reminds me of what we might possibly see from Phoenix, and Tyler Purdy, who came to JMU from Holy Cross. So lots of opportunities in this offense for a running back to make their mark. I am just curious, when you look at this program now, and you start to see this pipeline being created. I'm always curious as to what type of high school football environment they're coming from. Can you speak to what type of area Phoenix is playing in and what the competition level is like down there in South Florida?
First off, I'm about to piss off everybody that lives in Texas. I'm going to
Okay.
piss off everybody that lives in Cali. And I'm going to piss off everybody that lives in Georgia. There is no better high school football than South Florida.
Yeah.
And I stand by that. Time in and time out, high school football in South Florida is the best high school football. And then Phoenix was at the Benjamin School in Palm Beach Gardens last year, transferred to Cardinal Newman following the retirement of his former head coach, Eric Kresser, goes to Cardinal Newman. Cardinal Newman is a team that is consistently is going to be competing for a state championship. They are a blue blood of Palm Beach County. They are one of the top programs in the FHSA. They're in the 1A division, so I hate to say it like it is, but it comes down to when does your season end at Chaminade Madonna? And it's not even an indictment on Cardinal Newman because they fielded some damn good football teams over the past couple of years. It's more of a holy crap, Chaminade Madonna is a wagon.
Yeah.
Like they're an absolute unit. So Phoenix is going to go. He's going to be the feature back in probably the first or second best offense in Palm Beach County this year. I think this is one of the better Newman teams that they've boasted in a while. I do believe Newman could make that push for a state title appearance. And let's see if you hang in with Chaminade. That's once again, it comes down to when do y'all play the Nod Boys. Yeah. So I do believe that this offense is going to be huge because his quarterback is 4-star West Virginia commit Jiron Hewley. So run the RPOs and the options with a mobile ass quarterback like Hewley, and then a dude that's going to absolutely pound the rock with Phoenix. That's an incredible offense to watch. And then they have weapons on the outside. Zamari Sanders, who's the fastest dude in South Florida. There's just so many weapons on that Newman offense to where it's going to be fireworks this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, so maybe that's a good place to kind of wrap up, though. But 1,500 yards last year, 15 touchdowns. That's a tough campaign to try to overcome. What do you expect to see from Phoenix as he heads into his senior season? Obviously, going to be a leader in that room as he tries to take his team through another high school campaign and then turn his attention to JMU and what comes next.
What comes next going into this year is same thing. He's gonna pound the rock. He's gonna do his thing, and he's going to bruise up a lot of defenses, and he's going to give a lot of defensive coordinators some sleepless nights on Thursday nights. And that's the truth. He is a guy that it is very uncomfortable to game plan against him because you obviously got to be strong on the field, but you got to be strong mentally to play 4 quarters against that guy. So he's going to do his thing. I firmly believe, especially with the schedule that Newman has this year, he's going to be able to replicate that production. That's not a one-off year, despite last year being his first year in a feature back role. For his freshman and his sophomore year, he was behind former 4-star and now Georgia running back Chauncey Bowens. So he was splitting carries the sophomore year, gets feature back treatment. His junior year, now he's getting feature back treatment again. This year, he's gonna pop, he's gonna shine, and he's gonna do his thing. There's gonna be a lot of home run runs, and I am more than excited to watch Cardinal Newman football this year. And when he's wearing purple and gold, I'm gonna be even more excited. And I'm going to be coming up to a game sometime.
Well, first of all, we'll host you when you come up. We've got a great tailgate set up. You've always got a home in Harrisonburg when you make the trip up. I will say I think that's a really important point you make, though, about the pedigree of the program. Having watched a running back who made his way to Georgia, being able to be on the same field as a quarterback who's committed to West Virginia, those habits, those lessons become kind of ingrained in these prospects, especially when you're from an institution in the school that's used to putting out that level of talent. That bodes well for his future development. Christian, anything else you want to add to Phoenix before we let you go on your Friday? But this is exciting times for JMU. I have a feeling we're not done hearing names come from the state of Florida. The future's bright for our recruiting connections in the Sunshine State.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that this will not be the last time you see me on your show. I do want to say thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's fun being the interviewee. I'm used to being the interviewer, so it's fun to be back in those shoes every now and again. But
well, Christian, tell us, where can people find you and learn more a little bit about what you do and watch your coverage as you continue to cover high school football going into this year?
So if you want to follow me on the professional work pages at New Era Prep on Instagram, we have 15K followers. At Era Prep on Twitter, we have over 40,000. And then my personals, cproscia.photo on Instagram and cp_photo 2004 on Twitter. I've recently been more active on the Twitter scene, so you guys can find all of my interactions fighting with random group of 5 American Conference teams.
That never happens. Never happens. There's no
Never
clashing opinions
happens.
on that area.
But
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, Chris, I should ask you, what do you think you're going to see from FAU this year?
I think we're about to watch a lot of, once again, fireworks. You got the Zach Kitley offense coming in from Western Kentucky, Texas Tech. That pedigree, he's had dudes that have led the country in yards. You might have heard of Bailey Zappi. You might have heard of Patrick Mahomes. Those are some dudes that he's coached. Tyler Shuck. Those are guys who are playing on Sundays, and one of them's pretty damn good on Sundays. But yeah, that's the offense that I'm expecting for FAU. I'm really excited to watch Owls football this year. Tom Herman era wasn't exactly the most fruitful, but everything happens for a reason, and it's Kitley time in Boca Raton, baby.
There you go. Well, I'm going to ask you one more question though. So there's been a lot of news talking about programs fighting with each other on Twitter. A lot of news about Texas State potentially moving on from the Sun Belt, and that has brought up a whole new debate about where the Sun Belt should turn in terms of bringing another program or two into the fold. There's been conversations about programs like East Carolina, Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech. Any thought from your perspective on the future of Group of Five football? I know there's a lot of fans in Harrisonburg who have often thought of there being an East Coast based Group of Five league that brings in programs, from the American Conference, combining with the Sun Belt to bring some strong brands together. Just getting where your head's at with where we could see some alignment, especially geared at potentially trying to increase those regional rivalries while also reduce travel costs. I know that's a big focus of all the athletic directors in the Group of Five.
Well, 100% travel costs are absolutely insane, because imagine being a non-revenue driving sport. We'll use tennis. Imagine being a tennis player from Stanford having to fly to Miami. That doesn't make sense.
Takes a huge toll, the mental health toll as well on these players, and it's hard.
It's terrible. And obviously, there's no reason that UCLA should be a Big Ten team. Rest in peace to the Pac-12. Gone but never forgotten. Kind of making a comeback, but
yeah. Well, I will host Washington State this year in Harrisonburg, so it'll be a good opportunity for us to see a Pac-12 team in Virginia, which is not something I ever thought I would say.
As far as everything goes with Group of Five football, my perfect dream world is, first and foremost, Western Kentucky needs to get out of the sinking ship conference known as Conference USA.
Yeah.
They should not be playing in the same conference as FIU. FIU is terrible. They are bad at everything. Yes, I am taking this opportunity to crap on FIU, and
we have our own schools. We like to do that too, so I'll let you have it.
So Western Kentucky needs to get out of there. Texas State, that's a controversial one, because their athletic department is starting to turn it around over the past year or so, especially in football. Is it too early for them to make a move? I would say yes. However, if you get that opportunity, take it. In my perfect world, I am going to use professional European soccer as a little bit of a gauge. I want the American to take a Western Kentucky. I've spitballed JMU. I've spitballed App State as possible teams to move into the American when it's inevitably time. It's an argument. Is it an upgrade to stay in the Sun Belt, Fun Belt, or to go to the American? I personally think the American's a better all-around conference. But then, yeah, in terms of soccer, we can regulate a couple teams down to the sinking ships. What does Tulsa do in the Big 2025? What does who are some irrelevant AAC teams? Yeah, Tulsa, Wichita State.
We like to dunk on Charlotte a little bit, so if you want to include them in the list.
It's too easy. Charlotte's another one. I just like North Texas, send them down. And then, yeah, we take you guys, we take App State, we take Western Kentucky, and we go from there.
Yeah, for me, it's sign me up for a league that allows us to play schools like East Carolina on a yearly basis, to be able to play Navy, to be able to have Army in the same conference would just be awesome. So many great road trips. And that for me is what it's all about when thinking about a dream future scenario is it easy to get to away games? Is it easy for, people in your own backyard to kind of have those back and forth, those fun things that we all like doing, on X or wherever. And that's what really drives college football is those rivalries, those connections. And that's what I've always really admired about the potential of bringing some of those American conference schools together with the App States, the JMUs, the ODUs of the world. I just think it's a best case scenario for all fans. But that's a conversation for another day. So, but seriously, Christian, thank you for what you do. We'll be following your coverage as we go throughout the year. I have no doubt that you'll be continuing to cover Phoenix as he goes throughout his senior season. And thanks for taking some time to share some insight on what is a really exciting time for JMU football. And as another recruit makes his way into the fold in the class of 2026. And we'll talk to you soon, no doubt.
Have a good one. Appreciate
All
you
right.
for having me. Go Dukes,
Awesome.
everybody. Go
And as
Dukes.
always, continue to follow JMU Sound Off for additional updates on the recruiting trail, as well as coverage all season long for all things JMU sports. And we'll talk to you soon. Go Dukes.